Hi, I'm Dr. Paul with Online Chiropractic Marketing Systems, and we support chiropractors by offering 10 automated systems to create new patients for your chiropractic office. And one of the common questions that I receive is what makes one marketing program maybe more effective than another? And I'll share with you the real core concepts of marketing that will make one online marketing system more effective than the other. And of course, there's many factors, but I'm going to share with you the prime ones. And what they are is marketing has what's called a target market, and then there's a core market. And what makes one marketing program is when you look at a target market, you're looking at about 6 categories. And that's called demographics, psychographics, geographics, psychographic barriers, vehicle of delivery, and gateways. And what that is, and now each of these they have obviously details. There's details of each one of these, but the point is there's a higher probability. There's what's called Pareto's law, and you may have heard it with the 80-20 principle, that there's a higher probability in all of these categories. In other words, in demographics, there's a higher percentage of demographics of people who will see chiropractors than won't. And then same with geographics. There's a higher percentage of patients that will come to you geographically than won't. And it's same with psychographic barriers and psychographics, and same thing with gateways and vehicle of delivery. And so the point is if your marketing is the more that it's in line and in tune with a higher probability target market, it's in front of and going after people who are more the highest probability within a demographic market, within a geographic market, a psychographic market. Okay, so that's going to significantly increase the likelihood of getting business. Okay, now that's the big picture. Now the little picture is at the core of the purchase. In other words, you obviously have to use the right message, and I don't want to get into messaging right now, but there's 3 types of promotions. And there's either going to be publicity, advertising, or educational sales. Those are going to be the 3 components. All marketing is in one of those 3 components. And each of those components has specific formulas. But the point is at the core of a purchase is need relative to obstacles divided by trust. That's at the absolute core of a purchase. So if I can affect all 3 of those, I significantly will increase my likelihood of being successful with that marketing. If I'm not addressing any one of those 3, I'm significantly going to hurt my ability to get that business. So what happens is publicity only affects trust, advertising only affects trust and the obstacles, and educational sales can affect all 3. It can affect perceived need of a target market, the obstacles, and trust. And so the difference between good and bad marketing, essentially, and we're assuming that you have the right formulas with publicity, advertising, and educational sales, and we're also assuming you have the right message. So having said that, if you have the highest probability target market that you're going after, because remember, not everybody's going to have the same, it's going to have the same effect. So if you have the highest percentile probability within demographics, psychographics, geographics, psychographic barriers, vehicle of delivery, and gateway, I stand the greatest chance of getting that business. Now, on top of that, what type of promotion am I going to use? Am I going to use publicity, advertising, or educational sales? Well, educational sales will affect all 3: need, obstacles, and trust. Publicity will only affect 1. Advertising will only affect 2: trust and need and obstacles. So if I'm in the highest probability target market and I'm using educational sales, now that again is assuming you're using the right formulas and the right message, then I'm going to have the absolute highest success. And if you contrast that to if you're not using, let's say you're only using publicity, and you're not using the 20th percentile of the target market in those categories, demographics, psychographics, geographics, etc., then it's not going to work nowhere near as well. And of course, if you don't have the 20 percentile in the target market categories, and if you're not using, if your promotions is not the right formula for affecting trust, need, or obstacles, then you got a complete mess on your hands. You're just wasting a lot of time and money. So that's the difference between one marketing program and another. And that's what we do at Online Chiropractic Marketing Systems. We not only know which one of these are specific to chiropractic, but that's what we employ. And we employ various methods. So we may have a publicity system, we may have an advertising system, we may have an educational sales system. But we know what to expect. We know which one's going to have a higher probability and likelihood of working and which one's not, and why. And that's very important because as a small business owner, you have limited resources. You can only spend your time doing so many things. And that's how I was able to have multiple associates, over 300 patient visits a week, multiple associates, open 77 offices in 20 states. It's because we knew how to create more business than we physically can handle. So we had to get more doctors to handle the business, and we had to create more offices with those systems to handle the business. And that's exactly how it works. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about some of the basic principles of online chiropractic marketing systems, head on over to the website. It's onlinechiropracticmarketingsystems.com. And there's some brief training right there in the front that's very informative, very good. Kind of gives you some real clear direction of what works most effective and where you should start with your chiropractic marketing. Head on over to Online Chiropractic Marketing Systems and we'll see you over there.